Good morning. It's 10:01 a.m. on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. If everyone would please stand for our invocation. Please pray with me. Holy Father, thank you for the just the abundance of blessings that you pour out upon us, where we live, the rain that we've received throughout this year, the chance to get to serve the people of Wichita County. Just thank you. We ask, Lord, for your wisdom and your grace and humility that you would just bestow upon us while we do this work today. Ask that you would help us to make good decisions and to keep in mind who we work for, and ultimately to try to do things for your glory and for the good of the residents of Wichita County. Lord, we ask that you would protect the county family and our, especially those who put themselves in harm's way. And Lord, we do pray for a sense of unity and ratcheting down of tensions throughout our country, throughout our state, and in our local area as well. Help us to remember where politics falls on the realm and the spectrum of importance, and that we are ultimately the neighbors of each other. So please help us keep that in mind as a country right now, and watch over us and protect us. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join us for the pledge to the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pledge to the Texas flag.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, everyone may be seated. Would it bother you all if we turn the fans on?
I wish you would.
Would you?
It's warm in here.
Yep, both of them. I think the speech should be good. Good morning. So our auditor wanted to make an entrance today, as you can see.
I brought a whole box of things. Yeah. A whole box.
Yeah, you're good. Matt had to hustle over here from an appointment, so thank you for doing that. All right, it is 10:04 a.m. Let's open up for public comments. Remind everyone that comments need to be limited to 5 minutes or less, and no action can be taken on an item brought up during public comment. Do we have any public comments this morning?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I brought everyone up here on the dais their own Narcan. So Narcan is the antidote to an opioid overdose. It's a life-saving drug. It is now available for any individual to go pick up free of charge at the Faith Refuge store on Jacksboro Highway next to United. You just go in there, it's in a vending machine, you put your zip code in, and you can get a life-saving drug to keep with you. You never know in this day and age when you actually might run across somebody that's having an issue, or even with your own medication. So it can definitely save lives.
And Mark, you said that was at the store on Jacksboro Highway next to United there?
Yeah, and they're looking for other locations to put those throughout the community. So
Well, it's
I
good to get to
think
see
the annex
it.
may be a good location to add one as well.
Okay. What were we saying?
It's good to see it, and no, I had a different concept of what it was, so that's interesting.
So, yeah, they say everyone should probably carry one with them, and just in case.
Right.
Their deputies do.
Yeah.
They're all signed.
So now we all have one.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you. Do we have any other public comments this morning?
Does it do anything for allergies?
It did, I've
I would
already
not-
taken it.
I would not recommend that.
No, probably not.
All right. Any other public comments this morning?
We have a toy drive going on in Electra, Judge, for Christmas. If anybody feels compelled, they can stop by and see me, and just gathering donations. They have a pretty good a supply of kiddos that they try to furnish, stuff for in December, so if, you felt led to do such a thing, come by and see.
And you can join the Christmas parade, and your entry is a toy or monetary donation.
Oh, wow.
For the Electra one?
Just, I'm Mrs. Claus.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Any other public comment this morning? Okay. It is 10:07. We will close public comment and go along to the consent agenda. There are 5 items on the consent agenda this morning. Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of those items? I will just briefly, the Core Health Renewal Agreement signature authorization is in here. The final version of that addendum for 2026 ended up exactly where we started when we made the decision to go with Core Health again for this year. It's got a 1% increase for CPI, which brings it to just, I'd written it down but didn't put it on the right sheet of paper. Brings it to just under $5 million for 2026, and that includes the $200,000 staffing cap and the $200,000 pharmacy cap in it as well. There's still one small issue that I'm working on with Core Health that won't affect the larger agreement. It just has to do with how a calculation goes into the staffing cap and what we get credit for or not. I think we're in a spot where we can go ahead and authorize it, and I'll get that figured out with them. So that's that.
Motion to approve.
Second, is the box have our actors in it?
Yes.
The, Judge, just a comment before we vote on the, infrastructure fund application. I just wanted to mention that was, through the Texas Water Development Board. We have been approved for that, large grant, which we will utilize to develop a master drainage plan like the city of Wichita Falls has currently in place. And it'll denote some of our larger flow areas. And I want to thank Van for helping me stay coordinated on all this, because they do like to meet.
Yeah. I used to do the meetings with Jeff, and then Van stepped into the gap there. No, you've been working on this for some time, and I think that having that master drainage plan would allow us to figure out what we want to do moving forward to address some of those longstanding issues.
Right.
Do you know if is there an amount on the grant that we apply for, or is it an open-ended?
No, it is amount, what we will receive is $325,000. What we'll be obligated to cover, either by, matching monies or in-kind contributions, is $125,000.
Who does, like an engineering firm do it, or?
Yes, Freeze and Nichols, along with Kerry Maroney. Our Gilbert Creek problem is paramount on there.
It's one of the larger issues on there, so.
And I'm gonna bet that we can probably reach that matching threshold through in-kind when it comes to people
Probably
and
so.
Materials and road work, and that goes into those things.
But that's who's doing it, Barry, is
Right.
Freeze and Nichols, with Kerry's help.
Nice to have an overall plan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not careful, you'll work on one area and then you'll upset something else, and if you got an overall plan, it makes it a whole lot.
Right.
Lot better.
Matt, how does it feel to have all the work that goes into that act condensed into a consent agenda item in a box?
Feels great. I would ask that it be okay that I present these to the court.
Yep, please do.
I guess we should receive it if we're gonna vote on
Right.
receiving it.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, good looking book too.
Yes. These were published by TAC, and the low cost is $230. So,
All right. Not very many people know how much work goes into those. Kudos. So thank you for all the hard work, the whole team on that, getting that done. All right, we do have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve the consent agenda items. Do we have any Questions or comments on the motion or any of the items?
I would ask, does the court want me to address anything within ACFR, or would you like to address those to me separately if you have any questions?
I don't know if anyone has any questions now.
Right.
But if we do, I have a feeling they'll reach out to you. And if it's something that involves full county-wide discussion, we can always put those
Yes, sir.
on at a future time. All right. Any other questions or comments on the consent agenda items of the motion? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. General business item number 1 is to review and approve the regular bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize county treasurer to disperse payroll and or bills within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, electronically, or be picked up and acknowledged by a ledger signature in the treasurer's office.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize dispersal of payroll and or bills. Any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve and ratify the minutes of the November 10th, 2025 regular session and the November 14th, 2025 special session.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve and ratify the minutes of both mentioned sessions. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We're moving so fast this morning, my papers are piling up. Hold on. All right, item number 3 is discuss, consider, and or take action on issuing a county burn ban. Dwayne, ask you to come forward and give us the latest from your perspective and from our volunteer fire department chiefs.
Morning, Judge,
Morning.
Commissioners. We had a county meeting this past Wednesday on the 12th, and we polled all the fire chiefs and had some pretty good discussion. Commissioner Fincannon was in that meeting also. The general consensus is kind of holding off on the county burn ban for now because we haven't met our threshold. Our KDBI is still down below the 575 mark. And as of this morning, the threshold is, let's see here, it's 512, and yesterday was 509. So we're up a little bit, but
You do not for last.
yes,
Very good.
definitely helped out. We had some couple of fires that we had, and we had good recovery. We had 80 or 90% recovery the other night. So, which is the humidity and moisture getting up, which is really vital for the fires that come in through the day, helps recovery when they put them out, and then that extra moisture on top of that helps put them out. So it was pretty good on recovery there. The fires that we've been having, the control burns that we've had, and we've had quite a few, if you've noticed, running out and about. I know the sheriff's office has been good about spotting them and calling them out. Hey, do we have a control burn? So that's nice to have those eyes out there looking around, keeping an eye on everything. The control burns that we've had, everybody's been taking care of business and doing what they need, and they haven't gotten out of hand. The problems we've been having are electrical malfunctions on oil field equipment, stuff like that out in the KMA and the Electra area. It's not, the services out there are not real good. They haven't kept up with things or whatever, so it's causing issues. Yesterday we had 2 grass fires in the county that got started by welders. You know, they didn't have the proper water, didn't have the, you know, and then they're welding in grass at this tall.
Right. So,
and everything is, the freeze is dead and dormant. The Johnson grass or the contingencies in the bar ditch are gone now. So everything is dry. I have a feeling if we put a county burn ban in, it will be to take care of the welding issues that not everybody's been adhering to, you know, and how do you implement the welding criteria without putting a burn ban in, so that might be something to look into in a couple of weeks or whatever, but right now, we've got a chance of rain coming up Wednesday and Thursday, possibly anywhere from a half inch to 3 or 4 inches, depends on where we're located at, so.
And that's what I was gonna say, is I saw the National Weather Service put out their, 5-day and 7-day rainfall forecasts, and if it materializes, it won't be, probably 2 to 3 inches over the next 5 days, but we'll see. Those things are out of people's control.
But
And we've got it on the agenda for the next several weeks.
Yeah.
Just as a placeholder, just in case we have some issues with it, but.
And,
I think there's some wisdom in holding off on that thing, because there are some folks finishing some things up.
yes,
And as long as we're having good rapport and good control, that's a good thing. A lot of people don't understand how tough that welding deal is. You're under a helmet and you're out there welding, and before you realize it's going, you probably got you a pretty good fire started.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people say, well, how does a few sparks do that? Well, by the time you raise your hood and look, you got a pretty good deal, and that's what makes it so treacherous. So it's always good to have a helper standing there with a shovel or a bottle of water.
well, I know they've had some spotters out also kinda helping them, they're kinda look off for a minute, like you said,
You
it's
get
so
away
dry
with
that it takes off, and just a little bit of wind will help
Yeah.
move that, and like I said, the grass yesterday was pretty tall, and it was, luckily the wind was in our favor and the wheat field was there, so we were able to,
One of the things
Take care
that's
of it.
affecting us, and I've been kinda keeping an eye on it, there's a high pressure dome that's set up actually above Colorado, back in that area, and it's blocking a lot of that northern movement, those cold fronts that come down. Well, our rain this time of the year, warm, moist air, cold front, that's when you get rain. And we've been blocking those cold fronts, sending them east and west, and so until that high pressure dome breaks, we may be
Gonna be
in
in
for a tough deal, so we're watching that pretty close. It's been a beautiful fall. I
Yes.
mean, you can't complain,
been
but
nice.
anyway, that's something to keep an eye on, because, I am surprised, we didn't get that cold in those freezes, and usually it takes something a little harder than that knocked this stuff, but we knocked it out.
Yes.
We really have, this cotton's all opening, and it just amazed me, I thought we didn't get there, but obviously we did.
And like I said, driving around the county and going on the runs we've been on through the office and stuff and assisting everybody is, you get to see all those different areas, and like I said, the Johnson grass and the bar ditches that were our contingency to help hold it across the road or keep it from jumping was nice to have, but now that's gone now, so everybody's seen all the grass growth and everything out there, so there's still a lot of fuel out there, but if we can let the folks that are wanting to do some control burning, if they are doing it like they need to, and then maybe that'll help alleviate a little bit of it's not gonna fix all of the fuel that we have because there's just too much, but at least they can burn a little bit of stuff that they wanna burn and before we implement it, so. That was the recommendation from the fire chiefs out in the county, so, it's up to you guys to decide where we wanna go over there, but like I said, I think the burn ban would be put in for the simple fact of the welding issues if we keep having those issues, and I hate to take away from the control burn people because of the welding issues that are coming, but, you gotta think before you do all that, so.
Does anyone see the need to implement one at this time? No. Okay, Morgan, I guess let's go ahead and keep it on for next week, and we'll discuss again. Maybe 3 inches of rain will come through over the weekend and make this all
Hope so.
moot.
Best way to get rain is put a burn ban on. We've seen that in the past.
We'll put that to the test. If it doesn't materialize this weekend, then
We've seen that happen.
Put a burn ban in, then it
Yeah.
rains and everybody wants to burn again.
yeah. All right.
We think we're in control. but
No, we're not.
We're not, that's right.
Dwayne, thank you very much. All right, with no action taken, we will move on to item number 4. Discuss, consider, or take action to approve Records Consultants Incorporated's proposal to organize and catalog all Justice of the Peace records located on the 4th floor of the courthouse, as well as all records on the 2nd floor of the Lindemann Building. Judge Hughes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming and
Of course.
offering some input and probably to listen to what we're gonna do to you.
Yes, sir.
Probably.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me just quickly, Van had put together summaries of the proposals that were very good, so I just wanted to lay those out for everyone. Y'all have all seen the two quotes, and remember, we're talking about two different proposals here. The first is for the JP records that are up there on the 4th floor, and it would be for $12,550. This would just be for organizing and cataloging all of those boxes. As y'all remember from the presentation that RCI laid out, they will go through, essentially tell us what records retention schedule that the state has that each of those, everything in those boxes requires, what can be destroyed, what needs to be kept and for how long, and then they'll create essentially a manifest, a list of that, organize it, and then stick labels on the boxes so at a glance you can tell what's in those boxes and what their retention schedule is. This price does not include any actual destruction or digitization of files. That's a separate thing. As we saw, that's where this quickly gets expensive. And so this would be to allow us to know what we have, and then to look at down the road what we want to do for paying for digitization, destruction, whatever that might be. And so RCI would be happy to provide us with a quote if we want to talk through that later on. But this would just be for organizing and cataloging. And so the JP records one is $12,550. Lindemann building, all of that on the 2nd floor, essentially the same thing, would be $53,925, all told, to show us what we've got organized, labeled, and let us make some decisions.
That's
based
just
on
the
that.
record in the non-secure area.
Yep, that's for probate ledgers, property index cards, tax roll ledgers, boxes of case files for clerk, and then maybe some JP over there. Truancy juvenile records. It does not include deed ledgers because county clerk came back and said those had already been done. We don't need to do anything with those.
So if we're going through a box of records and there are, let's say, 25% of them can be destroyed, do they go back in that same box and they're noted?
It'll be.
They go back through and pull out the.
They'll essentially have them all bulk grouped together within that box, and on the outside of the box it'll say what it is destroyed, what it is 7 years of 2028, and then that sort of thing. It would be up to us then to come back and actually do something.
Which is a major undertaking.
Yes.
Go through and sort all that stuff.
But
Yes.
you're talking about the Linderman proposal is 54,000?
Yeah, that one's 53.9 to be fair.
Okay.
The JP one's 12,550.
Do we have money in the records fund for that?
We don't have money in the
Spending.
records fund. We, as we talked about earlier, this would come out of 409. There was 100,000 put in for 2026, which I think, looking at the schedule, they weren't going to be able to get to this till.
No, they scheduled it 3 or 4 months ahead.
Yeah. So there is money in 409 that was $100,000 that was explicitly put aside for us doing something with records.
So are we going to put this on next year?
Yeah, well, if we were to approve it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't, they wouldn't even be able to come in
So
until next year.
we're not encumbering funds from the 25.
Correct, it's for 26.
Okay, so we just make the motion to approve it for funding in 26 out of 409.
That's right.
Okay.
And James, you'll be available to kind of look at this process as it goes along and see that we're on the track that you'd like it to be on, and that we're able to identify what you're actually going to have in hand after we're through?
Most definitely, yes, sir.
And I'm assuming all our destruction stuff, is that something our staff can probably take back out of those boxes? I mean, we can destroy the files through our paper destruction that we do now. We don't have to necessarily send it.
Yeah, we could, this is just gonna get us in the situation where we can decide. I think that the issue there is, I don't know, and maybe, Judge, were you the one who talked to, A1 Freeman, not A1 Freeman? The
Paper
Pig, about, that got a proposal for what it would be? No, that was our public defender, never mind.
No, I was gonna say, no, I haven't.
Cause, I think what we would probably want is some sort of, they would need to provide us with a record of what we had destroyed, just so
Yeah.
that we have that for the future if there's any question.
Which is exactly
Or
what
if
they
they're-
do.
That's what RCI does.
But that's what RCI has given us that inventory though. We would have the record there, we just have to dispose of it.
Yeah, we would just, but I don't know if Paper Pig would provide us essentially, yeah, we did destroy it. And that's something we can look at down the road.
And those destructions are timed out material, is that what it is, basically?
Yeah, I mean, what RCI, this is what they do, they know the records retention schedule, and they,
But if your stuff is bundled and it's, RCI has done that and they said this stuff is allowed to get rid of, the office holder can throw it, can dispose of it accordingly using that same same information there without having to hire another company to do it.
they could, because I mean,
Well, even if you only threw away 2 of them boxes a week or
Yeah.
whatever.
each elected official is ultimately responsible
Yeah.
custodian of their records. Yeah, Ben?
Just to be clear, RCI's estimate was based on approximate box tabulations. They might get in there and there might be fewer than what they put on the estimate, or there might be more. So it could be less or it could be a little bit more. They won't know until they get physically into all the boxes and they'll find out exactly how many they have.
So we might wanna do an up to cost that's a little higher than this quote.
To be safe, I would.
Cause we spent about an hour counting boxes is all.
Okay.
So it was a rough count.
Yeah. My guess is it's probably gonna be pretty close on the JP, who knows about
Yeah.
Lindemann.
Yes.
Yeah, cause they're
Judge, how
scattered.
often do you go back and look for those records? Have you ever gone back, like to the Lindemann building and pulled a record out?
Maybe a handful of times in a year.
But it does happen, yeah.
It does happen.
What would be an instance where you would need to go, what would you go look for? I mean,
Inquest,
okay,
our main one, where a family member is wanting to get some documentation that may have happened years ago.
okay.
Small claims, if an attorney is involved or something like that, they want a copy of a judgment. Now, those are also probably pre-scanned in, some of those cases. Now, thankfully, that we're getting farther ahead, a lot of those have been shredded already and destroyed. Now, I will say JP 1-2 is mainly in the Lindemann building, where most of my records are on most of my records are gonna be on the fourth floor. So it's been a while. I'm almost 100% sure that all of those truancy cases that are over in the Lindemann building can be destroyed.
Right.
Because I know we stopped doing that in 2015.
In which it's expunged them from LGS.
Yes, and those are already been expunged whenever we had LGS.
So
So
RCI.
my
I don't even
question-
think this bid covers those documents though. In Lindemann,
I mean, on the second floor,
they're on the second floor, but I think they're in the secured area of the second floor.
if y'all didn't go through and estimate those boxes as part of it, then they wouldn't be.
And if they
And
did
those
it-
are something that and I don't know if the county still has our own, other than Paper Pig, of destruction of records, whether it be the landfill or, it's been a while since I've heard anything, but that may be a feasible option as well, because if those are a lot of truancy boxes over there.
That are,
And that could.
that can be destroyed, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that could be expensive. So if there is an alternative other than Paper Pig that the county has,
Well, and
that may be an option as well.
I asked that question is,
Controlled
everybody
burn.
probably knows, I mean, we just spend a lot of money here. And I know at my house, I've got a lot of precious things boxed up that I've had for a long time, and I hadn't looked at them in 10 years, you know?
Yes, sir.
We call it stuff, you know? And I guess my last few days, we've spent a lot of time looking at a lot of money on software packages and doing this stuff. And I get it, it's part of the deal. That's why I was curious as to what do we need out of it. So you are actively using some of those things?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was my real question.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want us to go and get involved in a big costly project if there was just nothing there that we ever looked at
Well,
anyway.
So-
and the challenge to me is, it's one of the things that county government has to, we have to keep it, and even if it's not used very often, but we have to have it.
We have to keep it.
We have to be able to access it and know what we've Got
Well,
it.
it's like that evidence room, there's stuff in there that has to be kept
Right.
perpetually, you know.
Right. And that's our death, and that's one thing, our death records, we're required to keep those, even though they're scanned in, we have to keep
Have to
all
keep the
original
paper.
documents
Wow.
forever.
Okay.
But a lot of what you do now is held on Tyler, you're scanning it in.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of the paper record can be
What's
destroyed without keeping a second copy.
Most of our stuff is between 7 and 10 years.
The paper copies as well,
Yeah, now,
cause,
non-inquest related, so
Yeah.
like our small claims, our evictions, our debt claims, most of that timetable is 7 to 10 years that we have to hold on to it. So I see what you're saying, Commissioner,
Yeah,
I
can it be-
apologize. So if
can
it
it
is
be-
scanned in, then yes,
you
normally
can
we
get
do
rid of it.
destroy things
Okay.
in office once we do scan that
Right,
in.
as it
So,
occurs.
yes, sir, I
so
apologize.
a lot, I think a lot of those boxes are pre-Tyler.
Pre-Tyler.
out there. That, from kind of what we gathered, looking at the date labels on them.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
You kind of addressed my next question, now, what's the oldest document you've had to go back and find? Just curious.
1886.
Yeah, for me,
Never mind.
yeah, for me, it was those death records, so you're looking at 2012, 2013.
But not a 1950 or a 1930 or that would
No.
really.
No, sir, no, sir.
Come over to the annex, we got some of those. 1912, baby.
So, just as a heads up, I just got a text
Recordings.
from Paper Pig that says they need to issue a certificate of destruction when they do
Okay.
it. So
That would help.
folks are listening to Commissioner's Court. And when it comes time, if we move forward with this and once we have it organized, we can get quotes and do our normal process for trying to find the best value, for doing that, so.
This, unpleasant as it may be, this is a necessary evil. I would make the motion to approve both to be paid for out of 409 and 2026.
Maybe increase it by 5,000 up to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I agree.
to give it a
Just a-
good round number, do
a
70,000.
Contingency fund.
So
And
then
we'll
you'll
hope it's
address
cheap,
the
yeah.
more secured files that potentially,
At a later
okay.
Yeah, cause there's several lock rooms that I'm not sure who controls each of the lock rooms. We were able to look through windows and stuff to get a quasi count.
Well, and to some degree, we can see how, I have every confidence they're gonna do a great job, but evaluate the job they do on this.
Sure. And that's why, if the judge can stick his head in on them regularly, that will be a big, watch for us to know, that we want to continue with this.
Do you wanna be project manager?
You bet.
Yeah.
And I think this will help us going forward too, cause I will say with turnover in both judges and office,
Yeah.
if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Right.
So if we don't know what's going on and what's going over there, that we're not doing the county a service as well, we're doing it
Sure.
a disservice. So if we are involved, we know what's going on, we can move things and help keep things, then I think that's just kind of a win-win for everybody.
And we'll be kind of starting to straighten up on some things that have concerned a lot of us for a while. I mean, there's some stuff that, and I don't know that it is, but it appears to be kind of haphazardly handled, and we need to get that up in better shape.
And I think whenever it was all sent over there, and no disrespect to the previous judges, but I
Yeah.
know they probably weren't involved in the transport.
Yeah.
I think it was whatever staff moved it over there, I think it was find the spot, fill a spot.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
I don't know if the organization, the categorization and all that was done the way it should be. And so hopefully being a part and working with those people, we can help resolve that, so that hopefully this conversation won't have to happen again in 10 or 12 or 15 years that we're doing another
And
expense.
everybody's
That's the
busy,
hope.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, Will, is it possible if the judge is there and pick a certain time for the student records or those school records that he says have aged out, if your guys or the work crew could move them to a staging location for Paper Pig to take away or to do?
Yeah, you can reach out, we can work that out.
And, I mean, you're probably gonna need to be there, James, right? I mean,
Sure.
you think everything goes or most everything goes, or?
I would think most everything would probably go. Now, I'd believe JP 1-2 does have their death records over there.
Oh,
So that would stay.
Right.
But in regards to, and I'm just without even
Right.
being over there at present, I
Sure.
would say almost everything could probably.
well, that's sure gonna give you some space back and stuff that,
Well, there would be some benefit in getting everybody on the same program.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
You know, this
Most
is,
definitely.
because like you said, you have a change in office, somebody new comes in, it'd be nice to know this is the way this is done.
Right.
Right.
And I
And
think that'd be worth a lot.
And that will involve future discussions on where do we get the archivist that works in the county involved with that. And once we essentially have a good level set, what we do moving forward is a matter of policy. Cause you're right, there's turnover that happens and
Right.
there should be a way to manage that well.
Sure.
Okay. So what we've got is a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to approve both RCI proposals to organize and catalog all JP records on the 4th floor of the courthouse and records on the 2nd floor of the Lindemann building. Approve up to $70,000 for both projects to be paid out of 409, but nothing to happen until 2026. Is that a
Yep.
fair statement of the motion? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so that is the motion. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve the purchase of Maintain X software for the maintenance department to be paid from Department 530 with lines determined by the county auditor. I asked this question of Commissioner Beecham earlier, but it's probably good for the whole group to hear. Because I know there was an issue with the licenses. I think this is for 14 users in the quote, and it was unclear whether that was, those users were just anyone who's gonna be on the system, or if it was just an administrative level, and so we could cut back from that number. Which one is it?
It's each member of the maintenance department, so.
So anyone who's gonna be accessing
Actually
and using
the software. If sheriff's office wants to be part of it, do y'all wanna be part of the software as well?
Yeah, but probably just Dryden would be the only one for us to be entering the data.
Wouldn't you or one of your administrative staff want access to it as well?
You know,
One more thing to be in charge of, Sheriff.
I mean, it just let you see what's going on and.
but we could always walk back there and have him pull it up and show it to us just
Okay.
as easy and, cause he kinda does his thing, I mean, everything goes, right now, all the emails go to him to be fixed and he makes sure everything gets fixed and reported. The only thing I see is his weekly report to me. I don't know why I couldn't just go back there if I had a question, have him pull up his access to it.
It might be one of
And I'm
those
assuming-
deals, Will, I know if it was me, I'd pull it up, then I'd have to have somebody explain to me what
Sure.
it really
Yeah.
said, because it kinda takes on its own language and own form.
Well, I'm sure now if he's submitting reports to you, this has the function to submit reports, have reports, so he's probably gonna send you these also, so.
Can we do it like we just did with the other one and add some additional licenses just instead of the 14, let's do an up to, say, 18 number and it's not the
we
intent to
certainly
spend
can.
that, it's just, instead of having to come back to the court if we decide that we need to add an additional user,
How big of the cost are those individual,
it's 780.
780 apiece?
yeah, see, that's pretty significant.
And who are the
So
14? Is that just building maintenance or is that housekeeping?
It's housekeeping as well.
So every housekeeper and every
Every-
building maintenance?
Yeah.
so the cost is 15 grand plus 750?
Cost would be 13,420, and then if there were any extra, that's for including 14 licenses.
Oh.
Or 14 users, sorry, licenses is probably the wrong word. So what we're talking about 780 would be if we added sheriff's folks on there, there'd be 780 per.
Per, yeah.
Well, can you add, Mark, can you add as you go along?
You can add as you go along,
I
I'm just,
mean, if you have I would say, let's see what our demand is, and if we get to the point where like, well, we need to add this one or add that one. If we can
Well,
do that.
and
that's what I'm saying, go ahead and have it in there so we don't have to bring it back to court.
And do
for
we
up to
have,
number.
and that is an annual cost of the 13, 14,000?
No, the annual cost is 10.9. This one is
Plus
$2,500 implementation one time.
But, and we would take action on that each time, so,
Each year.
I guess, Mark, that Brendan's group can kinda help, the guys get the, bang for our buck out of the software as fully as what, I just don't want it to turn into something that's very restrictive for Ricky to keep up with and take him away from the responsibilities, and then at the end of the year, just have a software program that we've got a bunch of work stuck in.
Yeah, this is always our software dilemma, is they can be of a lot of value if they're used well and we stay on top of them, and then we just have to make sure we're looking at them, and if they're not being used, we pull back. Similar to what we did with ClearGov, where we saw that there was some functionality that wasn't being used, and so we took away a
Yeah,
couple of those pieces.
I relate it to, and Matt, I could call Brenda and she could tell me exactly what my fuel is for precinct 4. What I couldn't tell you is how much fuel per vehicle I utilized, but there was a time that we could have told you that, but to no avail.
Right.
I mean, who wants to know that the 1 ton used 5,000 and the 3/4 ton used 2,000? I mean, and so I don't wanna be generating something at a cost to us that's not gonna be real relevant to the cause.
I think the real exciting thing about this, I could envision this showing us that we're spending X number of dollars on maintenance a year for an air handler or a compressor, and we know that triggers replacement.
Right.
You don't
We've
sit there,
got 20 calls on a particular unit
yeah,
in a year's time.
and you're not sitting there continuing to sink money in something that's not gonna be that doesn't bring a good value.
Right.
I
And,
mean,
to me, I'm really excited about it. I think it could be a really good tool, especially on some of these bigger items, these bigger projects, which would be HVAC
well,
And
and.
plus the tracking of maintenance, which we
Yeah.
don't do a really good job of tracking our maintenance, tracking our calls.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with maintenance, I just can't understand why every housekeeper in the building has one too.
I
What
think
maintenance
Because
calls do
it's
they
the
go to?
call out, that's the work order system. We generate the work orders through the system.
So a call comes in that there's a huge,
cover
somebody spilled a
on
mop bucket in on the carpet in the room, and that gets reported, and then it gets sent to the maintenance person who checks off that once they've done it or not.
Well, I can see that, going to the housekeeping supervisor, I just don't understand why you'd spend $780 for every housekeeper. That's just my opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, your one person running housekeeping is gonna, I mean, do we need data on how many coats were spilled in the courthouse? I mean, that's where have a little bit of issue with it. I can see maintenance, they have tickets, they gotta repair stuff, keep track of stuff that's being repaired. Just throwing out my opinion.
Mhm.
It's Rick's management tool, this is the management tool that he's asked for.
We can certainly help. I would recommend adding a license for my guys, so at least we can get in there and help if necessary. And if we're gonna be managing it, we need to be able to get in it.
well, and I think that especially with once your guys have a full understanding of it, they're gonna be able to help Rick and his guys so much with their questions that arise. How do I show this? How do I print this? How do I make it do that? The only part that ever worried me is Matt's tickets flowing to Rick and Rick having to dedicate the time to get those logged in so that we know unit number 32 on the rooftop, we've touched it 10 times, that's good to know, but at a cost of what? And unless Rick dedicates that time to putting those costs in, it's not gonna be real relevant. I mean, because we called on it 10 times and we didn't spend any money on it.
No.
Well, you're
maybe
still
not-
gonna, even if he doesn't put the cost in it, you're still gonna see the parts that went into it, and if you needed that data,
Well,
you can go back and generate that, because you're.
well, we're only gonna see the parts in it, Mark, if Rick's gonna be dedicated to punch the parts into it.
No, that's gonna be up to the technicians when they make a repair. This is what I've replaced. I replaced the compressor, I replaced the belt, I replaced this.
Not if Trinity's coming to do it and sending us a bill.
But then it's not a work order. That's something completely different. If our technicians go out and say, this is beyond me, I've done this, this, and this, and we're gonna have to call in reinforcement from Trinity, then that Trinity generates the bill to us, and it's not gonna be in this system that way.
Well, how would you ever have a true record of what you spent on Unit 32 on the rooftop deal if we've spent $5,000 on buying little dinky parts and they come along and spend 22 grand? How would we even know what the record was for the expense on the air
Because
conditioner?
we'll see it in the work tickets that it was turned over to
It was
Trinity. and we go
escalated,
back
and then you have to
escalated.
record the invoice total.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? So if we go to the system, say rooftop A03, can we backtrack and put all the work orders we've done on that rooftop unit since we,
I guess if
into
you
the
wanted,
system?
if you
Think
wanted to
so.
go to that.
well, 'cause
extreme,
most of our units are just 5 years old,
Yeah.
so for us, it would be a
Yeah.
benefactor to go ahead and list all those units
And
and what work we've done and what parts we replaced, before we can
Yeah.
track, have a true track of how many times we worked on it, how much we spent on each one, so.
Yeah. Well, is that something, Mark, do you think that maybe Debbie could help Rick with punching in some of that as that
if
flowed?
necessary,
That keep him out of, if he brought her some particular work and she just was data entry for that work, it might keep a lot of pressure off or a lot of buildup from him having to shut down every day and
well,
dedicate an hour or two to it.
If I can say, it's much like the ticketing system we use to track every activity the IT department does when it comes to service tickets and such. It's administrative oversight, and a lot of work at first, but after that,
Yeah.
in order, once it becomes a routine, it's really easy, it's not hard to
Okay.
keep up with. It's just, you did work, you put it in and you move on. It's only a headache when you're learning it. After that, it'll be pretty smooth sailing.
Okay.
And I'm just going, something jogged in my memory, so I just went and looked. We've got 12 projected positions for housekeeping and maintenance in 2026. So I think that the 14 would give us the extra position for jail and for IT potentially, if that's necessary. I think we're probably good with this amount of users. And then again, if we need to add more, we can. I don't even know that it would need to come before court because it'd be such a small amount. We're adding a license for agreement, but the agreement has to be signed off on by court every year. So,
Kind of becomes a maintenance deal.
thank you, Judge.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
And Judge, when you grabbed that info, I was asking Mark, is this something that maybe, especially initially, but that Debbie could maybe assist a little bit on data entry for Rick till Brendan said once you get the overall push down, and I know Will's got a good ideal of getting some history put in to some of those units as well that they already have. But she might be able to, because she's always been good on software stuff. She kept up with our project maintenance stuff well and understands it, so.
And based on what I could take from Rick on Friday, I mean, I think he's the one who went and found this and brought it, like,
this
he's
is
bought
the
in on
tool
wanting
that he wants.
to manage and use this tool. I think that his first priority and largely what he wants to use it for is the management of people and work orders and tickets, less than the,
Stop you in the hall.
well, yeah, unless,
Some accountability.
and
I
keeping
mean,
track of
I think it's.
each individual part and piece of equipment. I think that's maybe step 2 in his, which we know there's he's doing a pretty good job. I think I think he can manage it if anybody can. But yeah, I think that we'll be happy if Debbie can be helpful on inputting data input and stuff. Of course, we'll.
It just may be overwhelming at first to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the motion, he would enter invoices, and I seconded it.
Oh, that's right. There was a motion made. Second.
There was.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay.
If we can add licenses, yeah, they are 780, they could be added at any time.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
think
fine.
we're good with.
Alright, let's go with the 14 that are there, and we can adjust as needed.
I think what we can't do is come off of the number.
Mhm.
So I'd rather have too few
Yeah.
at this point than too many down the road.
Right now, is there 14 spots filled?
Well, we got 12 maintenance, one for.
I mean, are they actually filled, all them spots filled, or are they not?
You know,
In maintenance,
Yeah.
all housekeeping and
Yeah.
maintenance positions are filled, yeah.
But Will, you can change over so that, like right now, you're giving us every other week a PO update on the jail. You could, before long, be able to give us some kind of, we could get used to seeing a
Like an
report
export.
out of this that's showing us kind of what
I
they
would
touched.
envision us using it for the rooftop units, the stuff in the kitchen, the dryers, the laundry, but not for every time we replace something in the toilet. I wouldn't
No.
think we would use that program. I mean, that'd be a lot of data entry for a toilet repair, because we repair toilets every day.
Right.
You'll have to have a broader bandwidth to
Yeah. So, but really the envision I see is the bigger components that we use, and the costly ones, that we're tracking how much money we're spending on certain units.
Right.
Cause we're 5 years into them, so another 5 years, you'll be
They're
taking
gonna go
control.
on.
Sure. Well, like on your, earlier, refrigeration, had that been an ongoing issue that was having to be addressed?
We've replaced different parts on those refrigerators. I don't know if it's the first time we've replaced the whole compressor, but I know we've had some switches and some things that we've had. to
On that
replace.
unit that had to be addressed? Okay.
Thermostats.
Commissioner Beecham, you made that motion. So that's up to $13,420. What's in the quote?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Judge.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler, to approve the purchase of Maintain X software up to $13,420 for the maintenance department, to be paid from Department 530 with lines determined by the county auditor. All right, that's the motion. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item?
Judge, I would just ask, who is Commissioner Beecham handling the discretion of the licenses, or is IT, or?
I think that would go to Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah, cause it's for the maintenance department, he's the department head, over that, so I think he'd be the one to allocate those 14. And of course, if once more, then that'll be that'll be a different
Yeah.
question, but, no, we're giving the maintenance department,
I just wanna make sure
Yep.
who the invoice approvals to.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I think that'd be Ricky.
Rick.
Okay.
All right, that's our motion. Any other questions or comments on the motion or the item? Okay, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. The moment you've all been waiting for. Item number 6, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve a security keyway policy.
Yes, I gave you just slightly updated version of what I gave you last week.
What changes were made from the first one? Cause I had made some comment or notes here for it.
There were just a few clarifications in wording. I should have highlighted those. I did not.
Mentions it updated in 4.3.
4.3.
That's what I mean.
What's, oh,
I like the way, Mark, you laid it out. It's easy to look through and read for me. I like it that way.
Oh, I see.
Chat
I'm good.
GPT
I'm
helped me
good.
write it, yes, it did.
It
I
is
told it what I wanted and it put it together.
That is I've done some recently, but seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
Tanya had mentioned on the policy that we already have an appendix A, B, C, so on and so forth in the policy manual, so we might wanna designate our appendix something that pertains
Okay.
specifically to this, like
Okay.
security policy appendix A.
Well,
Cause if we add this to the manual, we'll have overlapping
I've
policies.
taken it out of this copy entirely because we don't have those
Correct.
appendixes ready yet. So, the
Is,
documents that y'all use, I guess that'll be on you and Rick to,
We can create something, we usually
Is-
do these.
I've got one, but
Okay.
4.6, and this happens to me all the time. You come through the door with, somebody you walk down the stairs with, and they graciously open the door, as Barry would do it, and I would come through with Barry. We are both authorized users, so is that okay?
yeah,
I
that's,
just don't have a record, I guess, when that occurs that I'm logged in.
Now, you probably need to then be under item 6 with enforcement. 'Cause you have come in without putting your code, so we're
well, that's
gonna.
why, that was one of the areas that it changed the language in, the 4.6, is each person must have their own ID card for access and shall not, it should be not
Yeah.
allow unauthorized individuals to follow them through security entries. So if you're coming through with Barry,
You're okay, you're
okay.
authorized,
If you're coming through with your wife, probably not so much so.
okay.
So that was one of the places I was gonna suggest something. I think you need a .2 in
Okay.
that,
Okay.
that, failure to comply with that provision, can, how did I put it?
If your hands are busy because you're carrying donuts, it's even better.
Failure to,
That makes it.
failure to adhere to this policy could result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. I think there needs to be an enforcement mechanism, cause that's one of the
Okay.
places where
Yeah.
that is most important. I would also ask in 4.3.3,
4.3.3.
county level master keys for maintenance, security, and emergency access shall be maintained jointly by the building maintenance department and the office of the county judge. What does maintained jointly mean? No,
You each
we're
have a
laughing
co-
on-
you each have a copy of the key.
Okay.
So you have a lockbox in your office that
Okay.
holds all the master keys, and they would have a lockbox in their office that holds all the master keys.
You'll have to walk sides.
No, well.
It's like the
it could be-
nuclear codes.
It could be, you could get one either place, either
Okay.
through maintenance
And
or through the.
What
county
is
judge.
that, Mark? What is the master key? Is that a card?
There's a great grandmaster,
No.
it's a single key that'll open everything. And that will be held in his office.
Physical key.
A
Oh,
physical
okay.
key. Now, the master keys for each suite will be held by the elected official. And there will be a copy of them made and kept in both key safes, in the one in the judge's office and the one in Rick's office. That way, somebody's got access to it, but it's only those two individuals that would have access. If I need to clarify that.
I think that the county judge should wear one of those big rings.
Oh, yeah.
with all the keys.
That's what we're
in.
trying to do away
holster.
with.
Jingle bells.
We're trying to lessen that, so it's just a few.
You're the key master.
We could put it on a chain, you could carry it
Well,
around.
you should only have to carry one key.
One key.
Yeah.
A large chain, something like that.
And that's overall what we're trying to get to, is that we don't have 15 keys to carry around, or 20, or 30. We have as few as possible.
Is this gonna be rekeying everything in the courthouse?
Suite level. So anything that touches the exterior hallways will be rekeyed. Not your office, not my office.
And do we have a price on all that yet?
We've been doing it a little at a time. What we're doing is we've bought cores. It's like $10 for us to go have it rekeyed since we bought the cores, and we're doing the work ourselves.
So we've got the redundancy of, obviously, we've got the electronic,
Yeah,
but in case of failure or whatever, you've gotta have a physical
yeah.
key as well to get in,
So,
at the suite level.
yeah, this is suite level only. This is doors that touch the hallways for public access. That the public would be able to go into and out of.
So, get this straight. Me and my foreman are bringing some stuff up here to the courthouse, and I pull up here and park, and I go to come in, the foreman's carrying stuff, and I'm bringing the door. If I let him come in, I can be held for disciplinary action.
No, he's an authorized.
You're authorizing him.
He's authorized.
That's
He's
not the way
accounting
this is
Yeah,
written.
that's,
So I wanna know the answer, that's something I wanna know.
Well,
Cause if you're,
he's
if you're
he's an authorized agent, then you can look at it as his employee or an authorized agent. So if you look at the definitions of authorized
we would just
agent,
need to get written authority from me or my designee.
so you're his designee, you're a member of the commissioner's court.
Judge, you're setting yourself up.
I don't like this
Phone calls.
anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna get lots
You
of phone
see, you
calls.
see now a reason for my question.
Yeah, I do, and
Yeah, I
it's,
do.
cause it would eventually.
Cause if you're gonna
come out.
terminate me, and I'm gonna be kicked
I
off.
don't get to, only the voters get to do that.
They're a county employee, they're authorized to come into a county
Yeah.
building.
Except,
through a
I mean,
non-security door.
no, that's not the way our security policy reads, and that's not, I understand where you're trying to get to, and I understand why you're asking the question, cause it's a valid question. Cause this is, I mean,
I
essentially.
mean, it's really not this door that is of great use, but maybe Brendan's door
Yeah.
that allows a little easier flow, but.
Well, I mean, it's kind of odd, because you have some staff at the courthouse that works here at the courthouse that has the ability to come to work before hours.
Right.
And can come in any door at the courthouse they want before hours. But if they come in the door after they're open, then they can't only come in certain doors. It's a law.
Why did it take 6 years to get the policy manual done?
I mean,
That's exactly right. Okay.
and that's why.
Good point, yeah.
I just don't wanna get terminated.
But
I just
But it's
call
good
it
to get
a
it right. while you're doing
fallacy.
it, yeah.
I mean, there's always, I guess, something.
You can amend it however you want. Like any good policy, this
But,
is just a
you
starting
know,
point.
I mean, just
And it's a
think,
great starting
think
point.
about the next hamburger cooking we have out here on our parking lot and just needing to come back and forth through that door. You'd think that's kind of an exception.
You think, but, I mean, you could be terminated.
I'm gonna have a list of 35 different forms I'm gonna have to sign over for the deal. Trying to think of the best way actually to.
Yeah. Mel, would intent be part of this? Does that come into play?
You have to have,
You have to have malicious
malintent.
intent or
Oh,
something
yeah.
to,
Mm-mm.
no.
Not get into all that.
I say we appoint a special, exception provision, and we designate Van Dotson to be the.
There you go.
Yeah.
The keys are.
The keys are.
Oh, the keys are.
I like that, Mel.
Oh, I get to make a designee anyway, never mind.
Need a czar. We don't have enough czars around here.
Putting a cell phone number. That would be, yeah.
I'm sitting here minding my own business.
We could not do it at all. We just go free for all like we've been.
No, I mean, it's.
But part of it does contradict the courthouse security.
Yeah, and that-
This door down here.
That's actually where I'm fundamentally trying to get at because that is something we need to figure out before we pass this.
Why don't you have a special event clause? Special circumstance clause?
Who gets to make the
And they
deadline?
would
What's
have to-
special
They
circumstance?
would-
So is a elected official walking somebody in
Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, they're not
Is that-
authorized.
No.
well, maybe it's not an unauthorized individual, but it's a non-county employee.
Yeah.
then we're undermining the security
Security
policy.
policy says everybody comes in the front door and gets wandered in, scanned in.
Yeah.
Or we put in there on the rare occasion that it's needed.
And you know what's odd is you go to other courthouses, and not saying nothing about our security. Our security is great. We have a good security. It's not that way in most courthouses.
No.
Yeah.
This is a very secure courthouse.
Yeah, I don't see us as having an overwhelming problem.
I don't know, you go into bigger counties and they're
Me
pretty
and Mark
much
went
screwed
to
down.
Hayes County, wasn't it, Mark, that we went through a pretty rigorous
Yeah.
security.
Yeah,
setup.
you only got one door and everybody goes through it and you get wanded and just like we do here.
But using Commissioner Fincannon's example, and for a cookout, if you reach out to security and you have a special provision that you have to reach out to security before anyone that would not
Just-
normally use the door is using the door, would that not be sufficient?
We just handle it just like we do the vendors right now, and the policy that we have for our vendors and contractors, that they check in with security at the beginning of the day. I'm here, they issue them a vest, we don't necessarily have to issue vests, but that's what we do with contractors. And they're to wear that vest at all times throughout the day.
That doesn't address me having somebody walk in with me that were coming up to this office. They're not, so if they stop at security, is it all good? That's what I'm getting at.
No.
So if you come in that door, if you're walked in with, if Jeff walks in with his foreman and the guy stops in at security and says, I came in with Jeff, that he's covered.
Or you get wanded once and you're good for the day?
See what I'm saying?
I don't have the policy in front of me, doesn't that policy lay out which individuals have permission for that door, and
It does.
Yeah.
it says X number of people can use that door, everybody else has to come to the front door.
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately your foreman's gonna have to go through the front door.
So if I come in
That's
on New Year's Day to the swearing in ceremony, and because we've got a crowd, I wanna park in the back, and I come through my regular back door and my wife is with me, we're gonna be,
She has to go through the front.
we're gonna be
No,
in
it don't count
violation.
because it's not, courthouse is not open that day, so you can bring her in whatever door you want
That's
to.
right, it's not during normal business hours, cause it's closed.
Oh,
That's something else.
Is that
don't
the rule?
necessarily- Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a rule.
That's the rule.
Cause I can bring my daughter up here and come in the back door if we're not open and it don't matter and nobody can say anything. So that's what I'm getting at. There's so many,
Edge cases are always gonna be the bugbear of,
Well, I think you also gotta go back, what's our goal? What's our goal?
the goal here is to manage the 99% of the time, which is how we handle
Which is
our keys.
probably what we're doing right now.
But
That's good.
does our keypad, like right now, if I come through there with Barry flashes the new keypad back here, can I flash it too and it pick me up even though the door's open?
Yeah.
Because,
Okay, so if you flash the light, it's.
Once the light
it's
turns
right
back to
there.
red, you'll be able to.
oh, I have to wait, I
Well,
can't
but
do
it
it.
happens immediately. It's not, that light doesn't stay green while the door is open.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
door doesn't have to close
Never
for it to go
noticed.
back to red, I believe is correct.
What?
It does have a small period.
3 seconds?
Yeah. It's a small period that it authorizes, so enough time for you to walk and open the door.
But you're not unauthorized, so you don't have to badge.
That's why I
But-
sat for hours trying to dream of all the scenarios. I'm sorry,
Well,
not
I mean, I'm just
Six
thinking
years later.
about how some employees, come and go from their workplaces, but, I mean, not that we would ever want it, but Brendan could look and see who all keyed in this morning and know if we had a bomb threat or fire, you know, we've gotten, the key holders out that all badged in. We wouldn't know necessarily the security people that came through, but we would have some inventory of.
Yeah, I mean, because we wouldn't have that for the people who came through the front door. We just have camera footage later that they can look at. The same's gonna be true for that hallway. So,
does maintenance come in each door every morning, or they come in whatever door?
they come in the front door.
I'm just asking.
They come in the back door, I believe. They're supposed to check in with security. but-
Was it 6 or 8 years it took to write that up?
And didn't we need to change it the week after we adopted it? I remember something about that.
All documents are living documents.
Yes, they are.
Well, that's
Because
something
with
we
all
can
that's in
always
here,
work
I mean,
on.
we can sit here for the next 2 days.
Yeah, I say we move forward and just modify as we see the smart,
I think it covers the
ways to
the
add.
gist of the deal. I mean, yeah.
So we'll have amendments for the other 2%. I just wanna know how excited building maintenance and IT department is. Brendan's not hearing me.
Will Brendan help with write the policies?
How excited they are to be doing their annual audit. And I'm going to,
Maybe do one right now.
one of the changes I was gonna suggest, and I can offer it separately, but when we do some other stuff, is, there needs to be a due date for that, every time when it comes in, but, we can tackle this.
We audit the jail keys twice a year. Every jail key's accounted for.
Who would oversee that audit, Judge?
Chief staff.
Chief of staff?
No, the audit is overseen by the IT department and building maintenance department. The
Okay.
findings are reported to the county judge.
Perfect.
Yeah, cause Brendan would audit the key cards and Rick would audit the physical keys.
Got it.
'Cause right now, physical keys are anyone's guess.
But our physical keys will change right on Debbie's door up there. Our old
Yeah.
physical keys
Your
won't
old-
work after a while, right?
Yeah, once we change the core, once the
Okay.
whole project's complete, everyone is going to get a new suite level key.
Okay.
All right, well then, the question before the court today is, does it want to
Wait, no.
approve the document as it stands, make any modifications to the document as it stands, or
I think it's a fine.
table it for later?
I,
I think
I would recommend that we approve the policy as written, and knowing that, we'll have modifications as
we do with every
continue
policy.
Yeah,
to develop.
I'll second.
Moving right along.
The thing I'm taking away from this is I have the authority to fire Mickey.
Yep.
But not on holidays.
But not on holidays.
See what you've stirred up here, Ricky.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna test it out, see how it
You
goes.
can do whatever you want to on Thanksgiving.
By the way, Mickey, you don't need your keys anymore.
You know, when you're done, you won't put your finger on the stove.
Yeah, it's just to test it out. All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve the security keyway policy as it was presented to the court in the backup documents and as we've discussed today. Yeah, that is the motion. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? Any more questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Okay.
Now we know why it's so hard to get legislation passed.
That's why I put a 140-day time limit on it.
Yeah.
All right, item number 7, receive update on courthouse renovations and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham or Commissioner Fincannon?
Owl Park, it's now gray. It's not complete, but it looks good.
It does look good. I saw it
Looks-
Sunday and it strikingly looks like a new building.
It
now.
does.
It
It
did
looks-
help it.
looks really-
It did help it.
Looks nice. The security project's still moving. They've started in Owl Park. For anyone in the courthouse that may be listening, not all your doors are complete. So some of you are still getting intercoms and cameras, i.e. judges' suites, and yeah, mostly the judges' suites still have the camera and intercom systems to go. So all the inquiries, if you're listening now, it's still happening.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
The Burnett project, we have hired an architect to represent our side of the interest. We're moving forward right now in developing the RFQ to send out for the people that might be interested in bidding on that project for a design build type project. Hope to have it put together within the week, the following week.
Okay.
Guess I could report on the JJAEP
Okay.
activity, even though it's not necessarily county funds.
Right.
But it is a county building. We are moving forward. Week before last, we met again with the engineers and everybody walked the building to start developing an engineering plan for site preparation. We had to do a survey because we're changing some elevations at the front door to make it ADA compliant, so we had to do a complete site survey. Once that's complete, they'll start drawing the plans for completion of all the renovations. So it's moving along as well.
Okay. Any other updates, questions on construction or renovation? All right. Well, it is 11:17. We were doing so good there for a while at the beginning. And we will go into closed session for a discussion change order to include facial recognition systems at the courthouse and courthouse annex as part of the ongoing security project. This meeting is closed pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.089, deliberations about security devices. If you have not been cleared to stay in the courtroom, please vacate at this time. No, you're here, Sheriff. Security.
Matt, thank you for
session.
When it dried, it kinda left
You gotta quit talking.
For item number 1,
advertising.
Never seen that.
discuss, consider, and or take action to approve Digi Security Systems quote number 020612 in the amount of $16,540.12 for the courthouse and courthouse annex November change order to include facial recognition with an optional add-on of $1,840.17 for additional storage to be paid from Department 409 with lines determined by the county auditor. Do we have a motion?
So,
And that's for the $16,540.12 only?
yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Oh, my goodness.
Do what?
Do we have a second?
Oh, yeah, I'll second it.
This is one of those deals I've talked myself in and out of already 3 or 4 times, you know, through the discussion.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Watts, to approve the Digi Security Systems Code 020612 in the amount of $16,540.12 to be paid from Department 409 with lines determined by the county auditor. Do we have any questions or comments or further discussion on the motion or the item?
You're done.
All right, the motion is before us. Oh, yes,
Judge,
sir.
just
Oh, sorry.
for Will, there's several times and I know I've asked Debbie and she's knows that the guys are aware of, but this also will work for not necessarily people that have warrants, but someone that is maybe having problem issues that we can upload easy enough into the system and so
I
like
think that we
the
may
lady
be-
that was calling us every day.
I think we may be skirting into security
Yeah.
concerns with having that discussion.
Oh, okay, okay,
Um,
no problem.
so, I mean, if you wanna have that discussion, we probably need to
Go back.
go back.
No,
to
no,
those.
no.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the discussion on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, that motion carries 5-0. With that, it's 11:46, and the court is adjourned. Thank you.